Hi there, my name's Greg Canning and I'm the owner of Castle Bagpipes, and we are makers of ridge cut pipe chanter reeds. This is a little video just introducing my company and more importantly the product to the customers of Kilts and More. So my product is a bagpipe pipe chanter reed, and the reason that I say that it's a ridge cut reed is that it is made with very sharp blades and chisels, and it gives a very pronounced line across the reed where you can see a real definite ridge. So that's where the name comes from. The style of reed means that the chisels and the blades are always going with the grain of the cane. That's something that I very strongly believe in will produce a really good finish and will help the reeds to vibrate. And I think it gives a really good look aesthetically and a really good feel in terms of vibration to the reed. On top of that, another really important point about the reed is that we use a copper staple. So many reeds use copper, many use brass. So I use a folded copper staple. So the copper starts off as a little trapezoid shape on an angle like that, and it gets wrapped around into a tube and then squashed at one end, and that gives me the perfect staple that I'm after for the reed. So to start with, the reeds start off as any reeds as a raw material. So we have this, which is a Spanish cane, Arundo Donax, and this will get split into 4 parts, and it'll be moved around process to process around the workshop. Now, the one important thing to know about my reeds is that we do absolutely everything in our power to make sure that this never gets touched by sandpaper. We really want everything to be done by very sharp knives and blades. Just as I said before, that we want to go with the grain of the cane all the time. So from this piece of tube cane, it goes from a raw material around several processes and ends up being a reed blade that we can tie in. Now, this reed blade has been through several processes, and it'll be tied around our own copper staple. So it's really important to note that the tube of cane that we used at the start stays together all the way around the processes, and that's why the blades are in this cup, so that every blade in this cup is from the same piece of tube cane, which promotes consistency in terms of the type of cane that's being used to be put together to make a reed. So from this, we would then bind it around the staple on this little winding machine here. So this winding machine is where we do all the tying in. So we've got our copper staples, we've got our pieces of cane, and we've got some water, and we've also got some thread, and we bind that all together. Once they're all made, they are varnished and hemped, and they're sitting here on my little nail board ready to test. So to test the reeds, I use my test chanter. I've got several chanters behind me. I've got about 9 or 10 pipe chanters, so I can test reeds for almost any chanter for any customer's needs. Today I'm using a classic Mark III Shepherd chanter, which is very popular, but I also use G1 and David Naill and Peter Henderson chanters too. So I'm just going to pick up a reed and give it a blow. So putting it in the seat, and let's see how this sounds. So that's not too bad. Every now and again, depending on which chanter I put the reed in, there might be a little issue crops up here or there. For example, if this reed had a flat F and was potentially maybe a little bit hard to blow, my first thing that I would do would be to grab a little rubbing stick and just rub the sides of the reed a little bit to slightly close the mouth of the reed and brighten up the F. So it'll make the reed a little bit easier without doing anything to the finish of the cane, basically rubbing the sides of the reed. Another thing that we can do is you can take a sharp blade, and if you've got a slightly sharp high G, we can locate the ridge line on the reed, and with light pressure we can move up the reed in one direction, trying your best not to attack the tips of the reed. So I'm just touching the very middle point from the ridge line to the middle, so I'm attacking the ramp part of the reed. And I find that that's really quite helpful if you have a chanter and reed combination where the high G is a little bit sharp. You can shave down this little area and it'll make the high G a little bit flatter sounding, and it'll make the reed want to vibrate a little more, it'll feel a little more free. So those are two little tips on how to get the best out of these reeds. If you need any support at all with your purchase, please don't hesitate to get in touch with myself or with Donald at Kilts and More, who can forward on your queries and questions. Thanks very much for your interest, and I hope that you enjoy using this product as much as I enjoy making it. Thanks very much.